So how did you get into the camper building side of the business then, Simon?
Well, we've always supported Unimog camper owners, and then gradually expanded our offering of accessories to include much more camper expedition truck related things. We actually built some composite boxes for a mining company for personnel carrying, and realised that there were a fair few similarities between those and a camper box, which gave us the confidence to start making our own boxes. But really from the start, I didn't want to be doing something which was the same as anybody else. I didn't want somebody coming to me and saying, oh, well, we can buy the same thing from a local horsebox manufacturer. So we developed our own subframe design, which is much lighter weight than the typical subframe substructure on a Unimog, and also used adhesive bonding rather than metal frameworks in the construction of the box. I've learned more about adhesive bonding than I ever thought I would need to know, but done a lot of testing in-house. And then through that, we've also arrived at a pretty unique attachment method between the box and the subframe using GRP, so fiberglass bolts, which is really strong. We're super confident in it, but much less prone to cold bridging, cold spots within the box than it would be using steel bolts.
So it's not just Unimog campers then, Simon. Other chassis are available to turn into campers?
Absolutely, yeah. If it's anything all-wheel drive, over 7,500 kilos gross, then we're into it.
Okay. So it doesn't even have to be Mercedes then?
No, indeed. I mean, Mercedes, of course, we know and we love because of the Unimog connection.
Yeah.
But we've done builds on Mitsubishi Canter, a couple on MAN. We're working on an Iveco Daily at the moment.
Yeah.
So we're happy to build a box on anything within reason.
Yeah, and presumably if it's something you've worked on before in terms of CAD, you'll have a lot of those issues already addressed. But will you work on things on chassis that you haven't worked on before?
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy to do that. I mean, you can appreciate that working on a truck which we've already built a subframe and a box for, so much of the design work and the calculations are already done.
Okay.
You wouldn't believe the amount of flex that's in a truck chassis. If you take a body off a truck and pick up the diagonally opposite wheels, it just bends like a banana. So you really have to understand how is that chassis behaving before you begin to start and design a subframe for it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear a little bit about what you've done specifically on this truck.
Yeah, well, we've done quite a few things actually, Paul. Custom diesel tank behind here just to make the most of the space, filled through here. We've got a sliding deck which isn't quite finished yet, so I won't pull it out. So a deck or veranda, set of steps to go in here for access, and then these custom lockers.
Oh, that's pretty sizable.
Yeah. And around the back, so the bottom here we've got a proper underrun bar which is telescopic, so that extends out for when the truck's on the road. Spare wheel carrier, and that is a motorcycle carrier with the little electric hoist there to raise and lower the bike. All of that designed in-house.
I like that it's all galvanized as well. It's going to last, isn't it? Often things that are powder coated and things, they really chip and the damp can get under the powder coating.
Depends very much on the preparation, and we galvanize because we're looking for a long lifespan with anything that we do.
Yeah. So
the last thing we want is powder coating flaking off in a couple of years' time.
Yeah. No, that's good. So Simon, I'm a bit intrigued by this composite board, I suppose, or camper board. I'm not sure what the right terminology is for it.
Well, funny that you asked that, Paul. Here's a sample that I prepared earlier.
Right, okay.
So this is the type of panel that we make these boxes from.
Right.
So it's 2mm woven GRP on either side, which is much stronger than the random strand stuff that a normal commercial body would have been made of.
And a better finish, presumably, as well, is it? Or is there not a lot in it?
Yeah, not a lot in the finish.
Okay.
The finish is largely in the gel coat, but
Okay,
it's the strength and the impact resistance which is key for us, really,
right.
in what we're doing. And then overlapping sheets of XPS foam.
And do you use a standard
there.
thickness, or does it vary depending on where it is in the body design?
Our standard thickness is 64 mil overall for the walls and for the roof,
right?
And we tend to use 84 mil for the floor.
Okay.
But within reason, the panels can be done to any thickness.
Okay.
The measurements which we use work really well with the outbound windows, hatches, doors, and so on.
Okay, so the thickness that these are designed to fit match well with the board you're using.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
are these double glazed then, or
double glazed glass?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
so
yes, I can see they're double glazed units now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really high quality.
Okay. And what are these, toughened glass, or are they a laminate? Or?
They're toughened glass.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just going back to the panels a minute, we can also put it in a layer of this stuff, which is called armor cell, which is a very high density foam.
This feels more like properties of plywood or something.
Yeah, much more rigid,
Okay.
and you can screw into it. You can put a mechanical fastener into it, which you wouldn't generally do with that sort of stuff.
So you put this in areas where you know fixings are going to be required.
Or sometimes in an alcove over a cab, on a roof where there's going to be a lot of heavy solar panels. Something like that.
Yeah. So you can secure them to something. So Ed, I get the impression you're sort of the brains behind CAD here. Is that a fair description?
Yeah, well, I do a lot of the CAD. So yeah, customer comes in with some requirements. Maybe they've got a vehicle, or they're looking at one of the vehicles that we've got. I'll take it from an idea on the camper side anyway, right through to so as you see on the screen, and then hopefully you'll see the same thing outside eventually.
Well, yeah, we've just been looking at what I think I recognise this body in the workshop. So presumably these panels that it's constructed out of, they're cut on a CNC machine based on your drawings.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, so they're built up here, and we can fairly quickly put together a camper box.
Okay.
And yeah, exactly. We send off the DXFs, and they get cut out and exactly dimensionally as we've got on here.
On a giant router, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the biggest in the country, actually.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because the panel sizes for single panels, they're huge.
They can be, yeah. And that's why we're particularly keen on the strength of them. So we're using sort of woven GRP on the inner and outer skins, which is sort of much stronger than your standard sort of fridge truck. And that allows us to do stuff like we've got an alcove on this box. Coming over the cab, so you need the extra strength in it to do that.
Because that could be sleeping accommodation or storage or
single bed or storage.
Yeah. Okay, and I guess with that material, it's essentially a frameless construction as well. It's the panels, and you obviously got framework around the corners.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, really. So it's a full composite construction, our boxes. So the panels are foam and GRP either side, and we use GRP capping on the outside with some aluminium corner cappings, but there's no metal embedded in it, and there's no metal that goes from it outside to in, so you're avoiding cold bridging.
Yeah, okay.
Which is one of the key aspects of what we do.
And I presume this is something where you can sit down with the customer and explore ideas of the style of the body, the dimensions, where the window apertures might be, all these sorts of things.
Yeah, there's all that. So, depends on what vehicle we're doing. Sometimes we'll have, if it's something we've done a design on previously, we'll take that as a basis. Or some of the Unimogs will have sort of a design we've sort of optimized, and we've got it as a suggestion there. But yeah, we can happily sort of sit down, base it on the vehicle, and then, they think about their interior layout. And yeah, quite happily we can all sit here and move windows around and sort of imagine what the interior is like, and we go ahead with it. So this is a customer's one. They've bought this vehicle at auction, and this is a U4000 long wheelbase. So one of the more modern ones. Yeah. And it's sort of a great base vehicle, really. Long wheelbase means you get a decent sized box on it. So this is sort of a 4.7 metre box. So you get a real amount of space in it. And, the vehicle being a bit more modern, they've proved to be really reliable, but you've got that sort of comfort and sort of the few mod cons they've added over the years. So yeah, seems a really good vehicle, and actually at the moment they're sort of decent value for money. These in sort of compared to a 1300L, once you've added all the sort of bits to it, they're a decent buy.
Yeah, I suppose many of those things that you'd had to add to a 1300L to make it a pleasant machine to drive long distances.
Yeah, Merc have already done.
Yeah, exactly. So is this higher ratio axles and things of that sort are already? It depends on the spec of the vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a few out there, and a lot of these are sort of ex-utilities.
Right.
That's sort of where they come from.
So they would have been cherry pickers. Or
yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah,
okay.
That's exactly what this one was.
Right. Okay. And can we have a bit of a look round?
Yeah, sure. So on this one, yeah, we've got a box on it. As I say, decent sized box. Customer's gone for a sort of spare wheel carrier at the back and wanted a couple of spares. We've got our subframe here.
Mm-hmm.
So we use the standard mounting points that Mercedes use, and the key point of that is to keep the box sort of safe and protected from the twisting forces of the chassis.
Yeah.
So
it's essentially 3-point mounted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
we pick up on them. I guess 4 mounting points, diagonal sort of mounting.
Yeah.
And pick up on them, and have our own fabricated subframe. We sort of try and optimize it, a bit so it's sort of as light and as strong as that sort of balance there.
Yeah.
And that's what supports the whole box, supports all the accessories on it.
So really, in a way, the bit that's hidden or largely hidden, the subframe is actually really key to the design. Isn't
it? That's one of the sort of major aspects, and we try and make it look nice, but you don't often see it, I have to say. And full range of accessories sort of put onto the this customer's going to get a sort of roof rack on it for the SBUs, which we do, all the square cabs, and again potentially a winch bumper. So there's loads of things you can add to them and make a sort of really versatile vehicle. So it's one of the reasons the Unimog's sort of one of the best base vehicles.
That flexibility with how you evolve the design and how you might add to what you wish to have on the vehicle for your big trip, because presumably some people are traveling in these for a year or 2 years sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. We have a full mix. Some people do it a couple of months in the summer. Some people have sold up the house, and that's the life for
their home
foreseeable future. So and such a well proven sort of vehicle.
As a base vehicle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for spending the time with me.
No bother. You're welcome.
All right.
See you again soon. All being well.
Yeah, I hope so.
Cheers.
All right, thanks, Simon. Impressive model collection.
The E90's moved.